Unleash your inner strength, the story that awakens your true potential. The beginning of awakening. In a small village surrounded by soft green mountains and dense forests, there lived a boy named Aria. His family was simple. His mother worked part-time as a teacher, and his father repaired tools for the villagers. Nothing about Aria's life seemed extraordinary on the surface, yet within his heart lived a restless dream. He believed that one day, somehow, he would do something meaningful, something that would change not only his life, but the lives of those around him. But the truth was this: Aria never really believed he was capable of anything special. He often told himself, "I am just ordinary. There's nothing unique about me." One cool morning, as the gentle wind brushed the leaves and filled the air with the quiet song of nature, Aria wandered off near the forest's edge. He loved following the footprints of small birds on the soft dirt, letting his imagination drift where it pleased. As he walked deeper toward a stream, he noticed a small metal pendant half buried near the water. It looked old, weathered by time, yet there was something strangely captivating about it. Aria picked it up, brushed the dirt away, and his eyes widened. There was an ancient engraving on its surface, a simple figure holding what looked like a gust of wind. Attached to the pendant was a folded piece of aged paper. On it, written in a language he had never learned yet somehow instinctively understood, were these words: "The strength you seek has been within you all along. Only by facing your own doubts will you awaken your true potential." Aria read it again and again. Something warm and unfamiliar stirred inside him, like a forgotten memory awakening. He couldn't explain it, but it felt like this message was meant specifically for him. The first spark of change. The next day, Aria brought the pendant to school and told a few classmates about his discovery. He was excited, truly excited, for the first time in a long while. But their reactions were not what he hoped for. Some laughed outright, others said it was just an old piece of junk. Even a teacher raised an eyebrow and said carefully, "Aria, maybe you're reading too much into this, dear." Their words hit him harder than he expected. The fragile spark of belief inside him dimmed. But that evening, Aria's mother listened to his story. She sat beside him, touched the old pendant gently, and spoke with quiet warmth. "My son, not everything has to make sense to others. Some things are meant for you alone. If your heart tells you it's meaningful, then follow it. We never know which tiny moment will change our lives." Her words became the gentle warmth that melted the cold doubt in his chest. Aria held the pendant close that night, wondering, maybe this message really does mean something. A step toward transformation. That night, Aria made a decision. He placed the pendant on his desk, opened his notebook, and began writing stories, ideas, thoughts, lessons, everything that had been locked deep inside his imagination. He wrote about responsibility, courage, patience, growth, the ordinary people with extraordinary hearts. His pen moved on its own, as if guided by something unseen. When he woke the next morning, he read what he had written and froze in disbelief. These weren't just random thoughts. These were stories with meaning, stories that carried life lessons, messages of hope, and reflections deeper than anything he had written before. He whispered to himself, "Where did this come from? Am I really capable of this?" The first signs of the self-awakening. Day by day, Aria wrote more and more. He began to feel that the pendant wasn't just an object, it was a mirror reflecting a part of him he never knew existed. His confidence grew. Little by little, he found himself doing things he once feared, speaking up in class, joining a writing contest, reading new books, imagining bigger dreams. One afternoon, his teacher approached him and said, "Aria, your work this week is exceptional. I've never seen you grow this quickly. Did something inspire you?" He hesitated, then murmured softly, "I am just starting to believe in myself a little." The teacher smiled warmly and tapped the notebook in his hands. "Aria, you can go much farther than you think." Those words, "you can go much farther than you think," unlocked something inside him. When doubt strikes again, but life is never a smooth road. Some classmates began mocking him. "Wow, look at you, thinking you're some great writer. Calm down, you're not special, stop pretending." Their laughter stung. Their words sliced into his newfound confidence. That night, Aria sat at his desk, unable to write. The pendant lay in front of him, but doubt wrapped around his mind like a cold fog. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I am not talented. I just got lucky before. Maybe I am just fooling myself. He stared at the pendant for a long moment, then his eyes drifted to the old message attached to it. Only by facing your own doubts will you awaken your true potential. Arya exhaled slowly. Yes, perhaps before he could rise, he needed to face himself, his fear, his insecurity, his disbelief. He lifted his pen again, slowly, unsteadily, but with determination, and word by word, the fog inside him began to clear. The writing returned gentle at first, then stronger, then alive. Arya had discovered something important. Courage doesn't come when everything is easy. It comes when you choose to keep going even when everything inside you tells you to stop.